Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Vivian Serafin, Communications Coordinator with Arizona Center for Empowerment. On behalf of ACE, we're grateful to have members of the press, community leaders, and partners with us this morning. A quick note on logistics before we begin. We will not be taking questions at the podium. Please hold all questions until the press conference concludes. After the program, ACE staff will be available to coordinate interviews with speakers. If you're a member of the media and would like to speak with anyone today, please see one of our communications team members, myself, Karima, or Paulina, to get you connected. We'll keep this program brief. To begin, please welcome ACE's Executive Director, Alejandra Gomez, who will lay the foundation for today's announcement and the campaign we are launching. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian, and thank you to all of our community partners that are here today and our elected officials. Thank you so much. Good morning. My name is Alejandra Gomez. I am the Executive Director of Arizona Center for Empowerment. I'm proud to be here with our members, partners, and community that make this state run. ACE was built by working people who are tired of being ignored, tired of watching decisions get made without the people whose lives are being affected. Arizona belongs to the people who live and work here, not to politicians, not to corporations, and especially not to billionaires. Right now, families across Arizona are living with a constant knot in their stomachs. Rent keeps climbing, groceries cost more every single week. Healthcare feels out of reach. Paychecks don't stretch all the way that they used to. People are working harder than ever and falling further behind. Across the country, we are watching fear become policy. Communities are being raided, families torn apart. Voices are silenced. And concerned citizens protecting their neighbors who are being murdered. While that cruelty is loud, what it hides is even more dangerous. A massive transfer of wealth, ripped from the pockets of working class Americans and given to billionaires and corporations. While working people are told to tighten their belts, those at the top are handed tax breaks. While families are told to wait, corporations are told to cash in. And the politicians who serve them keep us distracted with chaos and fear, rewriting the rules and handing banks a blank check to ICE to terrorize our communities across America and across Arizona. Now in 2026, Arizona faces $1 billion budget shortfall. This fiscal crisis is a political choice. This is why ACE is launching the Arizona We Deserve. This campaign is rooted in a simple truth. Power is never given by those who hoard it. It is claimed by the people who built this state and refuse to be shut out of our own future. We are the workers, the parents, the immigrants, and the young people who power Arizona. This is our home. This is our democracy. Politics cannot remain something that is done to us. It must become something we do together. The Arizona We Deserve is about choosing a different path. The state where working families can afford to live, where housing is a human need, not a hedge fund strategy, where no one has to choose between a paycheck and caring for a loved one, where our water and our energy serve communities, not unregulated corporations, where our tax dollars build schools and fund healthcare. Because when politicians attack voting rights, it is not an accident. They know their agenda cannot survive democracy. When people show up, their policies fail. This campaign is a declaration. Arizona belongs to the people who fuel it. and we know how to win. We win by organizing in every barrio, in every corner of the state, by telling the truth about who is hurting our communities, by rejecting fear and scarcity, and by bringing our people into the fight. We expand what Arizonans believe is possible. We move from fear to courage, from isolation to collective power, from survival to dignity. The Arizona we deserve is not a slogan, it is a demand. And it is a future we are building together. Arizona isn't broke, it's being robbed. And together we are taking Arizona back.
Hi, everyone, and thank you to Alex for speaking just now. I am Senate Democratic Leader Priya Sundaration. I'm proud to stand up here with all of you. It is indeed very tough times right now when community members are fearing for their physical safety. And yet, I'm so thankful for all of you community members who have shown up to stand here today with hope and the dream that is not too far to reach out for. This is something that we can work towards, the Arizona we deserve, and we should talk about it because it is within our grasp, even in these tough times, and it is even more meaningful that you are all here today standing with us. What I want to share is that this is absolutely what Arizona deserves. This is what the community of Arizona deserves. And yet what we have seen for years, as members of the legislature who have been here for years have seen, is that the Republican majority has ignored the will of the people, ignored the needs of the community for so long. And we're here to stand up and say, this is the Arizona we deserve. And the priorities that were just unveiled today, that we are unveiling with the Arizona Center for Empowerment, are the priorities that put the working people first and the community members first. So these are priorities that are common sense. Working families should pay taxes, and billionaires should too.
Yeah. Yes.
Every Arizonan deserves an affordable place to live. We need to protect our communities from federal overreach and family separations. We deserve livable wages and paid leave for all workers. We deserve an Arizona, and those of us who come from the desert part of Arizona, that has water and energy continuing into the future for the people and not for the corporations. And finally, we deserve an Arizona where everyone has the right to vote.
Yes.
These are the priorities that the Arizona Center for Empowerment, ACE, is unveiling today, and I'm proud to say that I, along with these Democratic legislators standing up here, are with you. We're fighting with you and for you. And many of the legislators here have bills that we're introducing along with community members to do that. I'm proud to have right here the data center tax exemption repeal. Because in my area of Tucson, for the last year, we have seen what happens. Sorry. Okay, tripod issue. We've seen what happens in my area of Tucson, what happens when a data center comes in stealthily, negotiates contracts with the community, without the community present, but with the government, and only unveils that later on. And then we find out how much water and how much energy those projects are going to need. And then we find out that there's going to be, in order to serve that data center, increased gas plants that have to be built that are going to pollute our communities, and none of that is right. And we should absolutely not be subsidizing those corporations who are already the most profitable in the world to come and take the resources that we need for ourselves. So thank you to the community members here. We stand with you. And I will now turn it over to House Democratic Leader Oscar de los Santos.
Buenos dias, good morning.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias, good morning.
Buenos dias. Good morning.
In the midst of awful times, this is what hope looks like. This is what resilience looks like. This is what fighters look like. I'm Representative Oscar de los Santos, House Democratic Leader, and today I am proud to stand with the Arizona Center for Empowerment as they unveil their 2026 legislative priorities, in Arizona we deserve. This agenda starts from a very simple truth. Arizona is not broke, it is being robbed. Working families are paying more for groceries, utilities, and healthcare, while billionaires and large corporations exploit loopholes, dodge taxes, and walk away with hundreds of millions of dollars that belong to us. That is why ACE's priorities align directly with our democratic agenda in Arizona we can afford. So let's first talk about fairness in our tax code. Right now, today, there is a loophole in Arizona's tax code that allows large multinational corporations to shift profits and avoid paying what they owe. And it costs Arizona $200 million a year. That's money that could be going to schools, to housing, and healthcare. Instead, it's going into the pockets of the billionaires. That is why I have introduced House Bill 2491 along with ACE to close that loophole and finally make the billionaires and the big corporations play by the same goddamn rules that working families do. Let's talk about housing. You have corporate landlords and Wall Street investors coming to Arizona and buying up Arizona homes, driving up prices, and locking out an entire generation from homeownership. And that's why I introduced House Bills 2705 and 2706 that would ban corporations from buying single-family homes in Arizona, because homes are for families, not for hedge funds. By the way, it's such a good idea that Donald Trump likes it and tweeted that he's in support of it, and I suppose even a broken clock is right twice a day. You heard about this already a little bit, but let's talk about water and energy, because that stuff is for us, not the corporations. You've got these data centers who are draining our desert of millions of gallons of water a day while they are subsidized by us and evade taxes. So I want to applaud Senator Sundaration, members of the House caucus, who have introduced the repeal of the sales tax exemption for data centers. This is a common sense step to end a ridiculous corporate tax loophole. I also want to applaud Governor Hobbs for her common sense proposal to charge data centers 1 cent per gallon on water that they use. And we'd use that money to invest it in the Colorado River Protection Fund to protect our water. By the way, when that was announced, Republicans who serve in the buildings behind me lost it. They absolutely, you should have seen that committee. You were on it, a couple people here. They absolutely lost it because they want to put the data centers over our families, and I think that is completely ridiculous and complete and total BS. So we're here today because this is what Arizona deserves, an Arizona that we can afford. I'm proud to stand with the community. I am proud to hold these corporations accountable, and you have my word, we will put working families first every single time. Thank you very much. It is now my honor to introduce Lena Villa.
Good morning. My name is Lena Villa. I'm a Phoenix resident and I am 69 years old. There are 5 of us living in my home, my daughter, my 3 grandkids, and me. I live on my Social Security check because I don't have the option to work any longer. My body won't let me. I'm diabetic. I have heart issues, which the doctors claim. I don't claim it. Every month is a calculation of what can wait and what absolutely cannot. With my daughter being the only one who can work, it's not easy keeping us afloat. One of the biggest burden we carry is rent. We need a bigger apartment to live comfortable as a family, but everywhere we look, the rent is so high and impossible. I've applied for low-income housing only to be told we make too much, even though most of our money disappears the moment bills are paid. What those applications don't see is the full picture. They don't count utilities, they don't count groceries, they don't count gas it takes to get to the doctor appointments, they don't count school supplies, shoes, or the cost of keeping kids clothed and healthy. They don't count reality. I watch rent climb higher and higher while everything else goes up too. Food, medicine, insurance. I pay for an expensive insurance policy because things already being so hard on my daughter. I can't imagine throwing funeral expenses on top of that. While Survivor already drains our income, even dying becomes expensive. Housing is supposed to mean safety. Instead of it becomes a source of constant fear. Fear that rent will go up again. Fear that one emergency will pull us out. Fear that doing everything right still won't be enough. People talk about homelessness like it's a choice, but most families I know one paycheck away from losing everything. Seniors, parents, kids, people are being left behind, and this isn't happening by accident. Arizona isn't broke, it's being robbed. While families like mine are stretched to the limit, politicians keep protecting corporate landlords and billionaires instead of us. They say there's no money, but there's always money for tax breaks and profits. That choice, and it's wrong, the wrong one. If lawmakers truly serve the people of Arizona, they need to stop protecting profits and start protecting families. Housing should be affordable because dignity should not be a luxury. We're not asking for luxury, we're asking for stability, for dignity, for a roof that doesn't come with panic attacks. If it weren't for my church and people helping people, we wouldn't make it. That's generosity keeps us going by charity should not have to replace policy. I'm here today because rent is breaking families. Housing should not be reserved for wealthy, and because no one should have to beg just to stay housed. This state belongs to the people who power it. We deserve an Arizona where no family lives in fear or losing their home. We deserve the Arizona deserves. Thank you. Now I'm gonna translate it in Spanish. Buenos días, mi nombre es Lena Villa, vivo aquí en Phoenix, tengo 69 años. En mi casa vivimos 5 personas, mi hija, mis 3 nietos y yo. Yo vivo con mi cheque de seguro social porque no tengo la obsesión de trabajar. Mi cuerpo ya no me permite. Soy diabética, tengo problemas de corazón. Cada mes hace cuentas de decir que podemos esperar y que no. Como mi hija es la única que puede trabajar, no es nada fácil mantenimiento a todas a flote. Necesitamos un apartamento más grande para vivir cómodamente como familia, pero a donde quiera que vamos la renta está tan cara que parece imposible. Me he aplicado para viviendo de bajos ingresos solo para que me digan que ganamos demasiado, aunque la mayoría parte del dinero se va en cuanto pagamos los recibos. Esa aplicación no va a contar completo. No toma en cuenta los servicios, no toma en cuenta la comida, no toma en cuenta sus útiles escolares de los zapatos ni los gastos para mantener los niños vestidos y saludables. No toman en cuenta la realidad. He visto cómo la renta sube y sube mientras todos los demás también suben. La comida, los medicamentos, el seguro. Pago un seguro de vida caro porque cuando lo difícil que ya es todo para mi hija, no puedo imaginarme dejarle también los gastos de un funeral cuando alcance para sobrevivir hasta morir sale caro. La vivienda debería significar seguridad, pero ahora se ha convertido en una fuerte constante de miedo que la renta vuelva a subir, miedo que una sola emergencia nos saque de nuestra casa, miedo de que aunque estemos todo bien, no será suficiente. La gente habla de la falta de vivienda como si fuera una decisión, pero la mayoría de las familias que conozco están a un cheque de perder todo. Personas mayores, padres, niños están dejando atrás a la gente. Esto no es pasado por accidente. Arizona no está bancarrota. Arizona está robado. Mientras familias como la mía están al límite, los políticos siguen protegiendo a los grandes herederos de los billonarios en un lugar de protegernos a nosotros. Dicen que no hay dinero, pero siempre hay dinero para recorrer de empresas. Eso es una decisión. Ya es la decisión colocada. Si de verdad los legislation será el pueblo de Arizona, también que empezar a proteger a las familias. La vivienda debería ser accesible porque la dignidad no debería ser un lujo. No estamos pidiendo lujo, estamos pidiendo estabilidad digna. Si no fuera por mi iglesia y la comunidad, no sabríamos adelante. Apoyo es lo que nos mantiene, pero la caridad no debería emplacer a los políticos públicos. Estoy aquí hoy porque la renta está rompiendo la familia. la vivienda no debería ser solo para los ricos. Este estado le presenta a la gente que los tienen merecidos un Arizona donde ninguna familia vive con miedo por su casa. Necesitamos la Arizona que nos merecemos. Gracias. Enseguida sigue G.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dee McDonald, and I'm a 65-year-old Arizona resident. I'm raising 5 grandchildren because I stepped up for my family. And even though I've worked throughout my life, I'm still doing everything I can to keep my household standing. I rely on state-funded programs like SNAP and Medicaid, not because I'm lazy, and not because I didn't try hard enough, but because it's nearly impossible for my family to survive without them. Medicaid keeps me healthy, and it keeps me healthy enough to care for these kids. I mean, it means that I can go to the doctor, I can manage my health, and I can stay on my feet for people who depend on me. SNAP puts food on our table, so my grandchildren can grow, they can live with dignity, and they can go to school with full bellies. These programs, they're not handouts, they're lifelines. What makes me angry is the reason that these programs are under attack has nothing to do with how much they cost. While families like mine count every dollar, Republican lawmakers keep giving tax breaks to billionaires and massive corporations. Private jet fuel gets a tax break. Out-of-state data centers get special deals. Billionaires get richer. And then we're told that's not enough money. We're told that there's not enough money for food or health care or just basic survival. So that's a choice. Arizona's not growth. It's being robbed. I shop at discount stores. I use coupons. I stretch meals. And even with SNAP, I go to banks, food banks, and I make it through the month to make it through the month. Without SNAP, without Medicaid, my kids will not survive. I'm raising children who will inherit the consequences of decisions that these lawmakers make today. I teach them this isn't normal, that it's not right for politicians to protect billionaires, while children go hungry and seniors lose their health care. You cannot work if you're sick. You cannot learn if you're hungry. You cannot build a strong state by abandoning the people who hold it together. So to our state lawmakers, I have a simple message. Stop choosing tax breaks for the wealthy over the lives of our constituents. Stop. Stop protecting corporations with families that are pushed to the edge. Fund the programs that keep the communities alive. The crisis was created by policy choices, and it can be fixed by making different choices. We deserve an Arizona that takes care of its people and not one that robs them in plain sight. We deserve the Arizona we deserve. Thank you. Now here's the instructions.
Thank you to all of our speakers and to everyone who joined us this morning. As a reminder, we are not taking questions at the podium. Members of the media, please see one of our communications staff to coordinate one-on-one interviews with today's speakers. We appreciate your time, your presence, and your stories. Today marks the beginning of the Arizona We Deserve, and we're grateful to have you here at the start of it. Thank you.